There was once a king who believed that 3 answers could protect him from every failure. He wanted to know the right time to begin any action. He wanted to know which people deserved his greatest attention. And he wanted to know which task was more important than all others. If he could answer those 3 questions, he believed he would never make a serious mistake again. The king announced that a great reward would be given to anyone who could answer them correctly. Learned people came from across the kingdom. Some advised him to plan every day, month, and year in advance. Others argued that no schedule could predict everything, so he should simply watch events and act when necessary. A few believed that a council of wise men should decide the right time. Others said that only those who could see the future would truly know it. Their answers to his second question were equally different. Some chose advisors, others priests, doctors, or soldiers. When asked about the most important work, they spoke of science, warfare, or religious devotion. Every answer sounded reasonable, yet each contradicted another. The king rewarded no one. He then heard about a hermit who was widely respected for his wisdom. The old man lived in a forest, never left it, and received only ordinary people. The king dressed in simple clothes. Before reaching the hermitage, he dismounted and left his guards behind. He found the old man digging the ground outside a small hut. The hermit was frail. Every time he pushed the spade into the earth and turned a little soil, he stopped to catch his breath. The king presented his 3 questions. The old man listened, but gave no answer. He simply continued digging. Seeing how weak he was, the king offered to take the spade. The hermit handed it to him and sat down. After digging 2 garden beds, the king stopped and asked his questions again. Still, no answer came. The old man offered to take back the spade, but the king continued working. An hour passed, and then another. The sun began sinking behind the trees. At last, the king placed the spade in the ground. He told the hermit that if no answer could be given, he would return home. Before the old man could respond, someone came running from the forest. A bearded man stumbled towards them with both hands pressed against his stomach. Blood flowed through his fingers. He collapsed at their feet. The king opened the man's clothing and found a deep wound. He washed it and made a bandage from his handkerchief and a towel. Blood quickly soaked through. He removed the bandage, cleaned the wound, and bound it again. He continued until the bleeding finally stopped. The injured man asked for water. The king brought it to him, then helped carry him into the hut. Night had fallen. Exhausted from digging and caring for the stranger, the king fell asleep near the doorway. When he awoke the next morning, the wounded man was watching him. He asked the king for forgiveness. The king did not recognize him and could not understand what needed to be forgiven. The stranger then revealed that he was an enemy. The king had once ordered the death of his brother and taken away his property. Since that day, the man had waited for an opportunity to take revenge. When he learned that the king was traveling alone to the forest, he hid beside the road and planned to kill him on his return. But the king did not return when expected. Because he had remained at the hermitage digging the garden, the enemy left his hiding place to search for him. Instead, he encountered the royal guards, who recognized and wounded him. He had escaped into the forest, but he would have bled to death if the very man he intended to kill had not saved him. The enemy now promised to serve the king faithfully if he was allowed to live. The king forgave him. He also promised to restore his property and send a physician to care for him. A man had entered the forest seeking revenge. He left it reconciled with the person he hated. Before returning to his palace, the king approached the hermit one final time. The old man was kneeling beside the garden beds, planting seeds in the earth they had turned the previous day. The king again asked for answers to his 3 questions. The hermit told him that he had already received them. If the king had refused to help with the digging and had returned home, his enemy would have attacked him along the road. While he was digging, that moment had been the most important time. The hermit had been the most important person, and helping him had been the most important work. Later, when the wounded man arrived, everything changed. Caring for him became the most important action. Had the king ignored him, the man would have died, and their hatred would never have ended. At that moment, the wounded enemy was the most important person. The king had wanted a rule that could organize his entire future. Instead, the hermit showed him that life reveals its most important duty one moment at a time. There is only one time over which we have any power, now. The most important person is the person who is with us, because we cannot know who will remain in our lives. And the most important work is to do that person good while the opportunity is still in our hands. If this story gave you something worth remembering, like this video and subscribe to Aham Wisdom for more timeless stories.